Hi kids, in this session you are going to learn about geomorphic process. Under this you are going to learn about internal process or endogenetic process and external process or exogenetic process. Okay, the forces that act from the earth's interior towards the earth's surface are called internal process. These forces build the landscape and create topographic relief. The forces that act on the surface of the earth due to natural agents like running water, glacier, wind, waves. These are all called external process or exogenetic process. This external process tear the landscape down into relatively low elevated plains and shapes the landform created by endogenetic process. Okay, endogenetic internal process. The landform which is created by the internal process, that one it is changed by the external process. Okay, now about the internal process, first we will learn that. The internal process generate heat and eject the materials from deep below from the earth crust. Okay, deep below from the earth crust. Internal radioactivity is the principal source of power for this process. Plate tectonics. The lithosphere is divided into a number of huge slabs of rocks called tectonic plates. These plates are divided into major and minor plates. These plates float independently over the mantle. Mantle, it is one of the layer of the earth. Okay. Collisions of these plates produce mountain ranges and other irregular surface features both on land and also on the ocean floor. This phenomenon, how we are calling it is means plate tectonics. How we are calling this incident means plate tectonics. The movement of tectonic plates is due to the thermal energy from the mantle. Now you are going to learn about types of plate boundaries. Convergent boundary. Here the plate moves toward each other and sometimes a plate sinks under another. The location where the sinking of a plate occurs is called subduction zone. For example, we may say about the Himalayas. Divergent boundary. Here the plates pull away from each other as magma pushes up from the mantle. For this one we may say about the Atlantic ridge. Third boundary. Conservative or transform boundary. Here the plates slide horizontally past each other. For example, we may say San Andreas Fault. Okay, now you are going to learn about the movements of continental plates. Due to the lateral compressional forces, the plates are forced to move upwards and downwards. This is called folding. Mountains formed by folding are called fold mountains. According to plate tectonics, the plates are in constant motion with an average rate of few centimeters per year. The movement might seem slow, but over millions of years, the plates and the continents riding on them move a long way. Okay, for example, we may say about the 250 million years ago, the Indian plate, it was the part of the Gondwana land, which comprised of the Africa, Australia, Antarctica and South America. Okay. Next, approximately 140 million years ago, the Indian plate broke away from the ancient supercontinent Gondwana and began moving north and collided with Asia. The collision with the Eurasian plate along the boundary between India and Nepal formed the orogenic belt that created the Tibetan plateau and the mighty Himalayan mountain. Now you are going to learn about the earthquake. What is the earthquake? Earthquakes, they are generally caused by the sudden vibration in the earth crust, which spreads outward in all directions as waves from the source of disturbance. The point of origin of an earthquake is called as focus. Focus, the other name for the focus is the hypocenter, which generates a series of elastic waves. Okay. Epicenter, it is a point on the earth surface that lies directly above the focus. The impact of the earthquake is felt the most at the epicenter. Seismic waves. Earthquake only generates the seismic waves. The nature, force and speed of the seismic waves depend on the nature of the medium through which it passes. Accordingly, there are three major types of waves: primary waves, secondary waves and surface waves. Primary or P waves are the fastest of all the earthquake waves and the first to reach the epicenter. These waves pass through the solid, liquid and as well as gases, either through push or pull with an average velocity of 5.3 km per second to 10 km per second it will passes through. Next, secondary or S waves. They travel only through solids. These in transverse waves shakes the ground perpendicular to the direction in which they propagate. The average velocity of these waves is 1 km per second to 8 km per second. Last one is the surface waves or L waves. These are similar to P waves, but they travel primarily along the ground surface. These waves travel comparatively slower and are the most destructive waves. The average velocity of these waves are 1 km per second to 5 km per second. Next one is the tsunami. Actually, the tsunami, this word derived from Japanese term that means harbor waves. It is adapted to describe large seismically generated sea waves caused by the earthquakes, submarine explosions and landslides. These waves travel at a great speed and the length of the waves exceeds 600 km per hour. These waves reach to a height of more than 15 meters near the seashore and are capable of causing destruction along the coastal area. On 26th December 2004, the tsunami occurred in the Indian Ocean. It was the result of the Indo-Australian plate subducting below the Eurasian plate. Okay. The 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake caused by tsunami is the sixth deadliest natural disaster which traveled at a speed of 600 km per hour with an estimated death toll of 280,000. The earthquake, which occurred near Indonesia at 0.58 minutes hours, took nearly 7 hours to reach Chennai. At Indonesia, it started in 50, that means the 0.58 hours. Took nearly 7 hours to reach Chennai. Thank you, children.